Many of the NAPLAN questions require us to infer. They don't just get us to scan to find an answer. We've got to do something called inferring. What is inferring? Inferring is following a trail of clues and snapping the clues together. And you can find some helpful inferring cards at this particular URL. We infer whenever we watch a movie, see a picture, or read a book. So for example, as soon as we see this tree here, we snap together the clues about the bells on the tree, the star on the top, and the presents, and we infer that it's Christmas. When we look at this guy on the end of a rope, we snap together the clues plus the things on the bottom of his shoes, and we infer that this guy is mountain climbing. And when we look at the castle and the dragon, we infer that this might be going to be a fairy tale. So when we're reading a book, we are also inferring, and we are following word trails to snap them together. So if we have a look here at only coat, mostly holes, tattered threads, slept in the park, and no home, we actually know that we are following a word trail about an animal or person who's very poor at the moment and doesn't have a home. And so word trails are really good because we snap them together and we can work out where something is happening, or we can work out about the main character. And we can also guess what mystery words might be, because if we follow a word trail, we might not understand every word in the word trail, but if we look at most of the words, we might be able to pick up whether a character is feeling angry or happy or sad. So we can also use word trails to discover the feeling in a text. So we can use emotive adjectives and expressive verbs to understand how the author is feeling about a character or about an issue. As well as following word trails, we can just look at layouts and snap the clues together and know immediately what sort of text we're looking at. So on the left, we can just infer from these clues, it's a wanted poster. In the middle, we can just infer straight away from the layout that it's a birthday party invitation. And on the right, we can infer instantly that this is a letter. So there's so many things that we can infer. We are really inferring any time at all that we have to snap some clues together. If we scan, we can find something straight away. But if we're inferring, we have to snap clues together to decide what is going on. So a lot of the time we're having to find out what a word might mean, or we might be trying to work out what the author's purpose is. So let's take a look at some practical examples. He shuddered and he shook. So how is he feeling? He's probably really scared. He persevered and struggled, and then he won through. So what kind of man was he? Probably a really persistent character. Jenny roared through the halls, causing havoc in her path. So what kind of personality does Jenny have? Probably a very large personality. So word trails can build atmosphere in a story. They can actually show the effect of something, and word trails can also show relationships. Really a lot to do with how characters are feeling. And in non-fiction texts, we can find out what the main ideas are by looking at title and subheadings. We can use the physical layout or the diagrams and graphs to find out a lot about the clues that we're getting to the main ideas. So in summary, these are some very common inferential questions that require students to infer for NAPLAN. Basically, what type of text is this? What is the purpose of this text? What is the genre of this text? What is the tone? What does this word mean? And all of these questions require our readers to snap clues together. So these inferring icon cards can also be a little bit of fun to remind us to infer. So You can see here that you could infer the genre or the audience. You could infer a setting or what a character is like. You can pick up that something might be a turning point. You might be able to pick up feelings or reactions or relationships. So the inferring icons just remind you of the sorts of things that we commonly infer when we are reading.